All right, welcome back to Market Day Report. I am Scott Shellady, otherwise known as the Cow Guy. And boy, we've had a tale of two cities. It's coming kind of 2 different days here today. I did the radio show earlier this morning. It didn't look too bad, but things have soured a little bit. Well, some of them come back. Let's take a look so it doesn't continue to be a mystery to you. And let's just punch the buttons and see what we've got. We've got a lower board in corn now by about 6 cents. That's where we've been, maybe a little bit lower. But look at the May. That's 4.23 3/4. That's down 5 3/4 cents. We're a penny and 3/4 off the low. And I don't know, 7 1/4 cents off the high. So that'll give you an idea. Look at that. We've got a July board down 6 cents to 4.35 1/4, penny and a half off the low. And Dees, new crop, that's down 5 3/4 cents to 4.57 1/2, and that's a penny off the low out there. So that's not very good, right? We were a little higher earlier, but anyway, soybeans looks like they've come back a tad, right? Look at this. So we've got May up 3 cents. 11.43 3/4 is last there. We're 6 1/2 cents off the low of the day. But we're about 9 cents from the highs, or 8 1/4 cents from the highs. So we could say we're safely in the middle of that range, but we were higher. So that's the problem. Look at the July's up 2 3/4 cents to 11.54 as we try to stay on the good side of unchanged, right? 2 3/4 cents higher there. And 11.54 is still 6 cents off of the low of the day for the July. So not too bad in beans, I guess. Moving over to wheat, this is where we see the losses, folks. Solid double-digit losses. May's down 16 3/4 cents. To 5.59 1/2, a penny off the low there. And boy, oh boy, we're far from the high by about, I'm going to call that 17 cents between you and I. If we go out to the Dees, remember, we were looking for this to close above $6. Well, good news is we got up to 6.01 at some point overnight or today. But now we're 15 3/4 cents lower to 5.85. So we're 16 cents away from the high and a penny off the low. That paints a picture, doesn't it? That's the Chicago wheat. Let's take a look at the hard red. That too is lower by double digits, 22 3/4 cents lower in that May contract to 5.64 1/2, a penny and a half off the low of the day there. While the Dees is off 17 1/4 cents to 5.82 3/4, which is 2 cents off the lows, and we've got to that $6 number well in our rearview mirror when it comes to the hard red wheat in Kansas City for that Dees contract. Let's move over to spring wheat in Minneapolis. That too is lower, 13 1/2 cents lower in that May to 6.45 1/2. While we've got Dees board down 14 1/2 cents to 6.68 1/2, and folks, that's the new low of the day there. So we haven't had a big range. It's only 3 cents. I'll give you that. But still, we're leaking a little oil. All right, let's take a look at cotton and see what that's got for us. That's a limit down board. I should have probably skipped that. May's down. I think that's limit down for sure. 95.57 is last there, 400 points lower in the May cotton contract. Let's bring Mr. Joe Lardy in. He probably knows if that's limit down. I'm sure he's a smart guy. Joe Lardy is up in Inver Grove Heights with CHS. He's at the home office where you get warm breakfast and lunch there every day. It's just I bet you love it. I bet you love it.
I wish.
All right, what do you got for us? What are your thoughts here?
Well, new month, and it looks.
You're trying.
It looks like the funds are going back to their punishing the market ways, and there's not a ton of fresh information out there. There's not a ton of positive information out there. And all things considered, the weather certainly looks like it's taking a turn for the warmer and the better. And I was just at an industry conference the last couple of days, and there were a lot of phones being passed around with some people in Wisconsin and Iowa planting beans.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, okay. Granted, it's a 4-row planter, and they held up a temperature gauge, and the air temp was 71 degrees down in Iowa 2 days ago. So I'm sure it was one of those things to say, hey, we planted in February, but ground temperature was close to 40 degrees.
That was what I was going to ask you. The ground temperature was, yeah.
Ground temp was 40 degrees, and if you got an air temperature of 70, I think it's just signaling that we're probably closer than we think to this planting window this year. And usually when we get started really early, again, it casts kind of that heavy bearish blanket on the market that, hey, we're getting in early. We don't have delays. We're not worrying about a particular event, and just kind of going back to the fund presence, they've been pushing these markets down for quite a while now, and a new month is giving them new resurgence to kind of lay on it again.
I mean, we have the best I've heard so far today is you've heard of hate crimes, right? Well, the funds are into hate selling, right? It's just like
exactly
a bunch of hate sales. All right. Well, we don't hate you. You're awesome. We love you. Thank you very much, Joe. Have a great weekend. Joe Lardy, he's at CHS up in Inver Grove Heights. We're going to go away. We're going to pay some bills, and we're going to come back and talk livestock with me, the cow guy, right after this.